Welcome back, everybody. Jason with Happy Tales. We got Beth on the other side, as well, pretty much Norm. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of preventable maintenance. So here we have Doc's diesel filters. I'm not affiliated with them. I just really like their product, and it's as close as OEM as you're going to get. With this, we'll have the internal engine compartment filter as well as the tank filter. Now, we tried filming this yesterday, but it was so windy and I was already engrossed into doing that front filter that we've already done it. But I'm going to go through and show you exactly how to change that out. I'll pull the lines off again and show you how to put that filter in and out. It just didn't sound, the wind was just too much yesterday, so we're going to kind of re-go through it, but that's why I don't have that filter in hand, because I've already put it in, but we'll go through the steps anyway and show you how to put it in. So this again is on a 22 F350 6.7 Power Stroke diesel, and we're doing both of the fuel filters today. It's a very easy process. You need a quarter drive 8mm socket and just a little, we call them pocket pry bars, but just a little standard screwdriver, and that's just to use your picks, pop your picks off, or excuse me, or you could use a pick to pop the lines off, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So up front we have 3 lines that we're going to pop off, and then we're going to show you how to get that filter in and out. It's a little tricky. And then on the bottom we have 6 8mm bolts that we're going to pull down, and then we're going to pull the cap off. There is a little rubber gasket that we're going to put a new gasket on with that filter as well, and we'll go through all those steps. So come on, we'll go up front and we'll show you how we do that. Okay, so this is your front filter up here. I'll kind of take that from Beth. You can see I wrote my mileage on there just because I want to know when I did that. There are 3 lines here. One is evap and the other 2 are your fuel lines. They just have these little pins on here, like so. This one's locked in. Basically on these I just slide it, and then you can just put your pick or your little screwdriver in there. Be careful, these are plastic, and the older the vehicle, the more heat rot that these are going to get on them, so don't pry on them too much. So here's a line here. You'll also see that I put some paper towels down here to catch the diesel fuel that is going to come out. And pop that guy off. As you can see, we got fuel coming out. Same thing with this one. You just kind of push your pins on the top and the bottom, and then you can slide your pin up. And okay, so we did make a little bit of a mess. That's why we have our paper towel here. So now, if you go to pull up, this will not come out, but rotate it 90 degrees and it'll come right out, okay? You pull that out, you put your new one in, rotate it back 90 degrees, and then you slide your pin in. Oh, see, that's why you always pull on them after you slide it in, because sometimes they don't go all the way on. So make sure that you got it. There we go. We clicked in, we pulled on that one, pulled on this one, and then we're going to bring this evap line back, pull on them, and that's as simple as this front filter is. It's a piece of cake to do. So now we're going to move to the bottom tank. Now this one, you'll see me actually pull it down and put new one on. As you can see, we have about 26,000 miles on this. I'm definitely changing it out beforehand, before it's recommended, but I think an ounce of prevention is pretty good. And on these CP3s, that's kind of what goes out, is on the fuel system. So take the little extra time, do it a little early, and save yourself a lot of headache down the road. So next one, we'll do the bottom. All right, so we're on the driver's side because our tank goes from here all the way up to here, and our filter is right here on the back door. So we're gonna crawl under here, but I wanted to show you where it was so you're not looking back and forth. We don't have to remove any skid plates or anything of that nature. We're just going to crawl underneath here and pull those 6 bolts out. So I will actually kind of drop down here and actually show you. There's our filter. Okay, so we're going to pull that off, and I'll kind of show you once I get under here. But just so you know, like I said, it's right by the back door and basically right underneath that rear seat. It's right there behind the frame. Okay, so we are under here. This valve here, this is your drain to drain your water separation. And this is your little 2-prong sensor that when the water gets up here, it shorts out the 2 little leads that are kind of pointing up. So we want to disconnect this guy just like that. Super simple. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's only 5 on this one. 5 bolts. And then we'll pull this whole thing down. The whole filter will come. Now, you'll want some type of catch pan because there is fuel in here. So we will set this camera up and hopefully get this all taken care of. How's that for live action? As you can see here, I opened the pedcock, that yellow drain. We're going to just drain out the rest of this fuel that's inside this housing here. Now, when you go to take this down, remember there's still going to be fuel in there. But the more you drain out, the less you're going to wear. All right, so we're just going to work this down like so. We have one that's still holding on back here, and we're just going to slide it straight down. You'll see that there's our old filter. And see, like I said, we only have about 26,000 miles. Oh, let me turn this down here. We only have about 26,000 miles, and you can see how dirty this is already. So that's the back side, the front side, and you can see there's still a little bit of fuel in that filter. So even though the truck was brand new and only 26,000 miles, you can see the importance of why changing this out. All right, so here is the old filter, and then here is said new filter. I should probably put them the right way for you. You see the difference, obviously. So to get this out, let me show you on the back. We look right here, removal, install. So to remove it, just gotta slide it like that. You'll hear it unlock, and then you'll put your new one in. But before we do that, I just want to kind of show you. I'll lift this guy up. Here's our bottom, and here's the 2 prongs I was telling you about. That's what your sensor reads for when you have water in here. And you can see all this sediment that's in here, and there is metal shavings and stuff of that nature, so that could be coming from anything. This is on the tank side, so I know it's not coming from the engine, but it is coming from contaminants in said tanks of where we're getting our fuel from. So that's why it's important to change out this filter pretty regularly, more than you think you would need to. So we're going to dump out that bottom pan, and I'm going to kind of wipe it all out, and then we'll put the new one in real quick. Okay, so we talked about the new gasket. So this is where that gasket is. It is down in the trough here. This one doesn't look bad, but you know, they give you a new one, so just use the new one. They are universal. It doesn't matter what side you put it on. You just kind of work it back through all the way around. Okay, so we're going to take our new gasket, or our new filter, sorry, after we put our new gasket in. We're going to unwrap it. It too, even though it's very hard to see, does say removal and install. So we're going to slide this down, and it can only go one way. We're going to go this way. So this basically will go right on top of your petcock valve. So we're going to slide it down and to the side, and it just locks in, just clicks real easy. And then we're going to go back down. We're going to just push it right back up. Now, just so you know, you are going to be going through about $5 worth of diesel, depending on your current price. This is probably 3/4 of a gallon, half gallon, so maybe not $5, but you guys feel the pain, I'm sure. So that's how much is held in this reservoir when it's sealed, just so you know. And probably you saw when I started pulling that off, honestly, I had a brain fart. I should have just hit the petcock, drained it. You're not going to get all the fuel out, but you'll have it draining from one location. And this petcock is very simple. It just twists down, and then you have to push it up just a little bit. But you can see the cam right here of how it operates, and then it just goes back in and it locks in place. So you want to make sure that this tab is all the way to the locked position and this is perpendicular. Alrighty, so we're gonna climb back under there, we'll stick it back up and we'll bolt it back in. Alright, so we're back underneath here. We're gonna make sure that we just slide it right back basically how we pulled it down, like so. Remember, you're screwing into ABS plastic, so you don't want to really crank on these things. You want them tight, you want them snug, but you don't want to He-Man them. And then you're going to plug this guy back in, wait for it to click, click like so, make sure this is here. Now, the most important part of this is the next step. You don't want to sit there and crank on your vehicle because you'll get a crank fault. So I'll show you what we need to do before we start the vehicle. All right, so we're inside the cab. You can see here that we have, like I said, 26,000 miles on it. We're going to turn the key on, but we're not going to start it. That's the most important part, is not starting it. And hopefully you can hear that. It is trying to fill that filter full of fuel. So it's going to take a little bit. The manual recommends 6 times. So we're going to shut it back off. Turn it back on. And you'll hear your pump kind of cavitating as it works through this. Okay, so we've done it 8 times. We're going to go ahead and we're going to try and start it. So we're going to put our foot on the brake and push start. You'll see it fired right up. Don't be afraid if it dies, because you might have an air bubble in your line. But that's why we kind of started, stop, started, stop, started, stop. was to try and get that air through the line. And also another thing that we noticed yesterday is if it goes to start and it sounds like it's taking longer to start, that will eventually go away. So don't freak out that it's taking longer to start, your starter's engaging longer than it was before you put this in. That's perfectly normal. We'll shut it off and we'll try and start it one more time. Starts right up. And that's as simple as it is for changing out your fuel filters on a 22 F350 with the 6.7 liter. The reason I went with Dox is price, and we will link their product down in the description down below. They make a great product. As I said throughout the video, it's the same as OEM or as close as you're going to get to. And the reason we did it ourselves is, well, I didn't feel like paying $300 to the dealership for something that literally took under 15 minutes to do. So if you want to save 300 bucks and you're mechanically inclined just a little bit, knock yourself out. It's super simple. Takes you, like I said, 15 minutes and you're done. If you guys got any questions, let us know. If not, we'll see you guys next week, and thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.